This Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. If you can hear me, just text hi. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I have 54 participants. Welcome to today's lesson, the second lesson of the week for English Grade 8 First Additional Language. Yes, welcome. I welcome everybody. You are welcome to today's lesson. Let's get cracking. Welcome. Yes, like I've introduced myself yesterday and I continue to introduce myself. I am Jackie Mieng. I will be your teacher for grade 8 English First Additional Language. Yes, those are my details there. At the end of this lesson, the lesson objective for today's lesson is that you learners, you will be able to understand the various formats of a visual text. You'll also understand the various features of a visual text and also be able to read visual text, understand them, and be able to interpret the various formats of a visual text. Remember what I said yesterday, that you really see visual text. You are more exposed to visual text than you realize, but at the end of the lesson, you will see that. Before we continue with today's lesson, let's recap from the previous lesson of yesterday. We were talking about how to tell somebody how to get somewhere. We were talking about giving directions. And those are the summaries, the 7 pointers. We said you be concise and clear. You give directions in a chronological order. You indicate the approximate distance. You provide information about the landmarks along the way, such as mountains, churches, monuments, and other landmarks. You use position and distance words, such as kilometers, the number of streets or traffic lights, I drive 5 kilometers, past 2 streets, things like that. You also use direction words, north, south, west, east, left, and right. And you also use the words to show appreciation, you say all these things with respect. Now let's continue to today's lesson. Yes, like I just said a minute ago, you will realize that you read more visual text on your smartphone or on your computer than you read books. Visual text, they're also called text with, they're called information text with visuals. And they include things like maps, which we'll cover in this lesson, tables, which we'll also cover in this lesson, and other visual text include graphs, photographs, illustrations, cartoons, and comic strips. Let's continue. Yes, maps. What is a map? The Google definition, it says that a map is a diagram which represents an area and it shows the features, the physical features such as roads, cities, and things like that, and on the map, you can be able to read how big an area is. You can see how far something is from another thing, like things like that. Stick with me and yeah, let's continue. Another visual text are tables. We are not gonna go deep with tables because this is things we usually encounter in mathematics, but here is just, it is just a primer. So you know that a table, it shows information visually and it is used to organize information so that you can see the relationships between the information that is represented on the table. There is a little table down there on the slide. Yes. So yes, all these blocks, they are called cells. The blocks in a table are called cells, right? Good. Let's continue. The blocks which are in the horizontal direction, horizontally, that is from left to right or from right to left, these are called rows. So in this table, in my example, we have 1, 2, 3 rows. So in this example, in my table has 3 rows. Then blocks in the vertical direction, that is when we move from up down, Those blocks are called columns. Yes. So in our example here, my table has 4 columns. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and it has 1, 2, 3 rows. So this table has 3 rows and 4 columns. Yes, we are going back to, remember, these are the guidelines you're gonna need for the next activity. Remember that when you give directions, you use simple and clear sentences. You give directions in chronological order. You always refer to a specific direction. You indicate the distance from start to finish, that is from point A to point B, as they will say. And you also mention any helpful landmarks along the way. Also remember to use direction words such as north, south, west, east, left, and right. Remember also to use distance words such as kilometers, the number of trees you'll pass, as well as traffic lights. Okay, here is our activity. So look at the map in the next slide. Here is the map. This is the map for our activity. So remember, we are talking about information text with visuals. So like there are things that which a map shows that which we couldn't communicate if we were using only written words. So we can see the map here. I mean, if you wanted to tell a person about this place by writing paragraphs and things like that, it wouldn't make much sense. But if we could use a map, then we can really come to understand what is really going on around here. So, okay, here is the map, and there is a box on our left top corner. There is a box, scenes from Gabriel's life. So in this box, there are things they call keys. So if you could look at the map, you will see that there are several numbers on the map. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, this 5, 6, 7, all up until 16, and each of these numbers, they represent the places on the map. So for example, number 1 is Citadel. There it is there. Citadel's number 1. At number 2, we've got the palace. Where is it? There is the palace at number 2. So this is the map that which we are going to use for our activity. And here are the questions. The question is, identify all of the key landmarks which are in this map. So which landmarks can you identify here? Which landmarks can we identify from this map? So if you could see on the map really is filled with landmarks. And we can see that all the things that which are written in here. Yes, here you are. I can see your messages. Antonio says, okay, wow, I really like the way all of you are participating. Yes, this is the grade 8 class of the day, is the last one. Yes. Let's go to the answers. Yes. Yes, Northern Hills is a landmark. The palace is a landmark. Yes. Yes, Joshua, Minal, Antonio, Azania. Yes, you're right. Yes, Joshua, you're right. All the ones which are in the key, they are the landmarks. So all those 16 things which are in the key, all of them are landmarks. Right? And then in addition to that, in addition to that, you can see all the other things which are not in the keys, the old coastal road, the river caravan, all those things, they are also the landmarks that which they are used to identify in this place. Yes, I see somebody's asking if this is English. Yes, this is English. We are doing information texts which fall under viewing and reading in your syllabus. Let's continue. The next question is, how do you know how far things are from each other? If you look from the map, how do you know how far any place is from the other place in the map? Is there a way we can know? Is there a way we can know? Okay, you say by distance. Some say by line scale. It has a scale. Yes, yes, you are right. It has a scale. Yes, Natasha, Divishan, Huawei Wi-Fi. Yes, as you can see on that box on the left corner, there is a line. On top of the line, it is written 2 miles. That line is called the line scale. I know something you could have met in geography or you're yet to do it, but that line is called a scale. So that scale really shows that, if we could take a ruler and measure from here to there, let's say maybe when we use our ruler, we found that distance from here to there to be 2 centimeters, then it means that every 2 centimeter that we measure on this map, in actual fact, that is 2 miles on this map. For example, if we come here to number 9, which is Navora Infirmary, you see it here? Yes. If you measure from 9 to 10 and we find it to be 2 centimeter, what does that mean? That means that distance between 9, which is Navora Infirmary, to 10, which is Sanctuary of Healing Dreams, it means the distance between here and there will be 2 miles. All right, so that is how we can get the distance in the map. Let's go to the next question. Next question. Next question is, what is marked on the map to show direction? What is marked on the map to show direction? Yes, everybody saying campus, Cesar, Divishan, Rithvik, Enrico, Natasha, Minal, Caitlin, Jen Lark, Sanika. Wow, guys, your participation is so great. It's so wonderful. It's so amazing. You guys are amazing. Hand of applause to you all. Yes. Okay, we are at number 3. What is marked on the map which shows direction? Let's go to the map. Let us go to the map. Yes. If you can look at that box at the left corner again, you will see, okay, those are the keys, there's the scale, and then you see that is what we call a campus. Yeah. So on it, you will realize that it shows us 8 cardinal points. That is, it shows us, it has 8 lines drawn on it to show us direction. The one which faces up is north, which means that on this map, facing up on this map is the northern direction. Then facing on the right, on your right on this map is the eastern direction. On the left on this map is the western direction, and going down on the map is the southern direction. All right. So that is what we use. That is what is on the map to help us with the direction. You know that if you wanted to give a direction from one place to the other on this map, this is what you're gonna use. All these directions: north, east, west, and south. And remember, even these ones can be used. Remember, this one is between north and east, so it's northeast. That's between south and east, so it's southeast. That's between south and west, so it's southwest. And that's between west and north, so it's northwest, right? So let's continue. I also love your participation. Thank you. Thank you. Remember, we're still doing text with visuals. This is just an exercise and activity. Yes, so the fourth question is how do you get from the palace to the citadel? Let's go back to the map. How do you get from the palace to the citadel? The palace is number 2, there it is, and the citadel is number 1, there it is there. So how do we get there? Remember, we're gonna use the campus to get there. So to get there, right, from the palace, what you're gonna do, here is a road there. Okay, from the palace, if you get through this side, the left side of the palace, then we are going north, right, north towards the cemetery. After that, we are going in the northeastern direction along the Navora Road, right? When we go that way, we're gonna pass number 7, which is the aqueduct. We should be on our right. We should be in the southeasterly direction. Then and on our left, we should be on our left. Yes, we're gonna pass number 9 and 10, which is the city cemetery and the Navora Infirmary. We're gonna continue along the Navora Road until we get here to this bridge, which is where River Caravan starts. Then we go to that bridge, which is in the southeasterly direction. Then as we go through this path, there we are at the citadel, right? So yes, that is our activity. That is our activity. So yes, remember this is information text is about another ways that which information is being relayed. Remember, if like I know this place and I wanted to tell you about it, I wouldn't write an essay or a paragraph about it because you wouldn't understand, you know. So a map is one of the things they call an information text with visuals or a visual text, and it really helps you to understand. Remember what I said previously, that there are types of visual text that which you will come across. Let us go through that again. There are some that which I believe you have come across so far. You know, there are cartoons, there are comic strips, you know. In your test, in your exams, this is something that which you will come up with, that which you will come across with, you know, where you are given a comic strip and then you need to analyze it and then to answer the questions based on it. The same is also with cartoons, you know, those cartoons that which you see on the newspapers. Yes, those cartoons which you see on the newspapers business in those business section of the newspaper. Yes, there are also photographs. You know, you can be given photographs in your assignments, photographs in your tests, in your exams, where you need to read it. You know, you need to visualize the photograph. You know, see what is in the background and things like that. You know, like even like with me right now, you can see my background. And if I were to take a picture of this and put it in a test or in your exams and ask you, then it will be like a task. You know, it will be a text and visual text where I will be asking you, you know, to discuss what you see in the background, you know, asking you various questions based on what the photograph is about, based also on what the photograph might be showing. The same is true also with graphs. Although graphs is something that which you will meet more in mathematics, that's why I don't really go through it. But graphs is really one of those information texts, you know, and at the end of this lesson, I will guide you to the textbooks that which you use in school, which have this section. And then, yeah, I see some of you I see some of you in the comments are confused. You don't know whether this is math or this is English. Well, this is English, and at the beginning of this, at the end of this lesson rather, I will give you the title of some books that which you use at school, and they have the section that which you can go through it again and realize how important to be able to read not just written words, but also words with information text. So yes, at the end of this lesson, I will give you the the title of the textbooks you use in English that we have these things. Yes, it is similar to maths. Remember, guys, all the subjects that which you do at school, they go together. There is no subject you do at school which stands by itself. English, geography, maths, whatever subject you are doing at school, they all go together. You will see at the end of your schooling career that everything you did at school, they can be linked up to form a complete picture which will help you in life, no matter what you want to do. Whether you want to become a doctor, a physicist, an educator like me, whatever you want to become, you realize that everything that we should learn in school is that important. That is the reason why this is not the only lesson. You have had other lessons. You have had natural science. You have had mathematics. They are important subjects. English is also important. Also, every subject that you should do is important. It should be taken seriously, and you should really be excited when one subject really links with the other. Because like even now, some of you say this sounds like geography. It sounds like maths. You will see that in maths when you do graphs, when you do tables, in geography when you do maps, and you understand what I've been teaching you for the past minutes, it will make things easier for you. Not only will you excel in English in this chapter, in this section particularly, but you'll also excel in geography and other things you do. So let's continue. We've got a few minutes left before our lesson ends. So yes, thank you for your participation, everybody. Okay, so let us recap all that which we did. Remember, we talked about information text, that information text with visuals, they give us information that written text alone cannot give us. There is no way I could write an essay to really describe that map that which we went through. So I was showing you different ways that which we can communicate things, and you're going to learn about some of these things as you in like higher grades. As you continue in grade 9, grade 10, and you will learn deeply about the visual text that which you went through. So yes, visual text include maps. You will learn more about maps in geography, and you will appreciate this lesson and what you're gonna learn. I can promise you that. You also learn graphs in mathematics and tables, photographs, illustrations, cartoons, and comic strips. So yeah. So we only focused on maps and a little bit on tables today because that is what is in your syllabus. And later on, there will be something about comic strips, I believe. Yes, as promised, helpful links that which may help you. Um, to learn about giving directions, you can visit that link right there. You can visit that link right there to really help you. So yes, let's see. Let us go back to our takeaway message. Seems like there's still much time I have left, and let it not go to waste, but let's make it fruitful. So anybody has a question which is relevant to what we did today about visual text? Gonna give you 2-3 minutes for questions. Type your questions in the chat. Oh yes, this will be on YouTube. Yes, all the classes are on YouTube. This one will also go to YouTube. Okay, seems like there's no question. Okay. So yes, I'm glad everybody we are on the same page. So yes, we are doing visual texts. Visual texts. So yes, there are the examples of visual texts. And how is this relevant to English? This is relevant to English in where you will realize that when you write your tests, when you write your exams, you realize that they do not only ask you questions in writing or with text. Sometimes they'll just put a map there and ask you questions. They'll put a graph there and ask you questions based on it. They can put a table, showing a relationship between something, statistics or something, and ask you questions on that. They may put a photograph of anything, a photograph of something, and ask you questions on that. There's usually questions about those cartoon strips that which we see on magazines. There are also questions about comic strips, and all these things. That is the reason why we did this, so that you can understand, and not only for your test at school, but also later in life. Also, like when you're not doing schoolwork, I mean, if your friend right now will send you a photograph on WhatsApp and they don't say anything, what are you gonna say to them? How, how are you going to interpret? That is the reason for this lesson, to learn how to read the visual text, to know how to interpret them in a way that which they will make sense, to interpret them correctly, so in your syllabus, in your textbook that which are reading, which I will share with you at the end of the lesson, it was on maps and also on tables. So yes, that's all. I don't see any other questions. So yes, you can use your own textbook, like just go to a relevant chapter which deals with this. If it is the textbook that which I'm using, that which I was using, then lucky for you, because I'm going to share that at the end of the lesson. So yes, remember to subscribe to Africa Teen Geeks on YouTube. That's where you can get all the videos for every subject, for every lesson, but more on that a bit later at the end.